Hello, my name is Paimon. I wanted to briefly just go over a few things with you so you understand the process, the things that are going on in Central Asia, Afghanistan, and Iran are very much connected. But so is things that are happening that happen in Iraq, in Syria, in Libya. All those things are related, and it has a lot to do with colonialism. Okay, specifically Western colonialism. The British are colonialists. The Israelis are colonialists. Let's get that across right away. The Americans are colonialists. Oh my God, they're exposed. The truth comes out. So we're going to talk about colonialism, and we're going to talk about how to discern between information, how to kind of figure out what's bullshit and what's not, where to get the information. We're also going to talk about, not lying. Okay, that's another thing that we're going to talk about today. But to start off, colonialism. Afghans need to understand colonialism. Okay, that is what is the big thing working against us, and nobody sees it. Nobody sees this, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's exactly what's happening in Afghanistan, but no one sees it. Everyone's just caught up in the current headlines. Afghans need to understand colonialism and decolonization. There's a decolonization process that I'm going to run you through, okay? Colonialism does not only destroy buildings, it destroys trust, institutions, identity, education. It destroys the media systems and the ability of a nation to solve its own problems peacefully. Decolonization means rebuilding our minds, our unity, and our systems, and our sense of national responsibility. So we're going to go through that process. But the main thing is that colonialism, which was the British, the Soviet Union, NATO, and which is 51 countries together, or a lot of countries, the whole world, was trying to colonize Afghanistan. And what they did is not only destroy buildings, but they destroyed I'm getting a bunch of messages, but they destroyed our institutions, our trust in our country. They destroyed our identity, our education. So we were talking about basically how colonialism does not only destroy buildings, but it also destroys the trust within the country. It destroys the institutions, and it destroys identity of people. The identity nowadays, Afghans have an identity crisis. Okay, I tell you that they don't know what tribe they're from. They don't know where they came from. They don't even probably know their great grandpa. Unfortunately, and I'm not saying this as to talk down on Afghans, but I'm saying that's how much we've been through. That we do have an identity. They've destroyed our identity. They've destroyed our education systems. They've destroyed colonialists. They've destroyed our media system, and the ability of a nation to solve its own problems peacefully. That's why, 30 women get arrested and we lose our shit. There's no transparency from the government of what's going on, what's happening. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about decolonization. I want to help my people decolonize their mindsets. Decolonization means rebuilding our mind. Fikroima, like how we think and how we solve problems. Decolonizing our minds, our unity. Uniting again, decolonizing our systems. That's going to be one of the toughest things that we do, and the most strongest, most powerful thing we could do is decolonize our systems, establish our systems again. Our media outlets, so we could control our story, so we could say and we could talk about it. We could talk and we could tell our story ourselves, not some Western media outlet, not some Kim and Brad talking about, oh, Afghanistan. Shut up. Anyways, we need to be able to frame our own narrative. At the same time, we must become smarter about media. You know, not every Western or foreign funded outlet reports Afghanistan with love for Afghans. So they do not care about you. They're not going to show love to you. Oh, during the NATO invasion, schools, hospitals, mass murders were happened. Media outlets from the West did not report on it. They're not your friends. So these foreign funded outlets reports do not care about you. Some frame every story in a way that turns Afghans against Afghans and keeps us divided, and keeps the country unstable. That's what they want. They could not beat us with boots on the ground, so they're trying to divide us with their systems that they've installed during their colonial time here. While they were here, you think they was just fighting? No, they literally uprooted every part of society. They didn't even leave us with street lights and crossing. Anyways, Afghans need help, and I'm here to help as much as I can. The answer is the truth, and the truth is, as long as you tell the truth, you're going to be fine. You don't have to cover your tracks. You don't have to do. So anyways, aside from the media, we got to learn about colonialism. We got to learn about decolonization. We got to build our systems back and build our minds back up, and be united and build our systems back. And then learn about media. We got to learn about that because we need to control our own narrative. The current government also has a responsibility. Now, this is a point where I'm very, very strong about, like very concerned too, that there are policies that affect the public, especially women, especially families, especially education, law, civil rights, protections. The government needs to explain clearly and publicly and regularly every day. If you're going to be in control of Afghanistan and its people, you need to be on the TV every day on my screen talking about this is why this is happening. Explain everything. You need to be on. You cannot be hiding in your office talking about, oh, yeah, we did it. You did what, buddy? You got to get up here and talk us through this. We are united in this with you. With the current Afghan government, we need to be so united that, we got to walk this through this together. So anyways, they have a responsibility to be transparent. So because this silence from the government, it's creating a lot of confusion. It's confusing me. It's confusing everybody, and confusion creates rumors, and rumors creates division. It's a process as old as time. Afghanistan needs a few things, but to start with, we already have. We need peace. We're almost there. We've got a good amount of peace to where we could start working on our legal reform. We don't even have a constitution yet. We need to work on our civil rights, right? We need to protect it. We need a Civil Rights Act that is in the Constitution and that people are fully aware of. We need a due process that explains what happens if somebody is criminally charged or there's some kind of a civil matter. We need a due process that's completely transparent and completely, we know what's happening. Because these girls that got arrested in Iraq that for some kind of a dress code violation, we need to know what happened. We need to be very clear, because there's people out there saying all kind of bullshit. They're making up stories about these girls being raped and all that stuff. Okay? I know it's not true, but these fanatics, these people who work for the Western news outlets, and these poor Afghan girls who are being used, their energy, their talent are being used by these Germans and these people that don't care about them, but their talent are being used to control the narrative. Anyways, Afghans need to work together on this peacefully and respectfully, and not create any kind of division. So we need to work together legally and diplomatically, peacefully, to build a country. We cannot advocate to fight against each other and create more division. Okay. On another point about the media thing, I've seen videos on here about the protests that happened about the 8 women being arrested. There was some protests after that by the men. The Taliban came, dispersed with some shots in the air, and then that video, somebody used it to create an AI version of it, to where at the end you see the Taliban shooting a girl against the wall, and she drops on the ground. That was AI generated. Somebody used that video and put it on social media, and everybody lost their shit and said that. So we cannot start using AI to twist the narrative and say lie. You're lying. They're lying. Whoever did it, it was some news outlet. I have the video, and they basically made it look like the Taliban shot a woman, just executed her. But it was AI. But they posted that. So there's a lot of enemies that Afghans are working against. So we need to come together respectfully, peacefully, legally, diplomatically, and get this done. Build a country we could actually be proud of, and we want our country and we want our children to live in. That's my thing, guys. So we talked a little bit about colonialism. We talked about decolonization. We talked about the media, and we talked about the government's responsibility to be transparent and regularly publicly explain what they're going through, what they're doing, what their policies are. What should we expect with these policies? When are some of these outrageous policies gonna change? Let's get this country back on its feet. Everyone should be united and together with this. If you want to help out, that's great. Start making content about it. Reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help. Khudafis.